It's almost time. The PlayStation 5 hits us with its next generation goodness in a matter of weeks. And to get you fully ready, I've made a list of 50 things you need to know before your PS5 comes home with you. If you've pre-ordered, this video will give you a warm, fuzzy feeling inside as you wait for your new console to arrive. And if you're new here or you're on the fence, you'll see some cool tech. Let's see how many of these 50 you already know. Let's get the basics out of the way. The PlayStation 5 is available in two iterations, one with a 4K Blu-ray drive and one without, the digital version. Here's the first thing of note. The PS5 is 99% backwards compatible with your PS4 games. It's great, yeah? Well, if you have disc-based games on your PS4 and you plan to ditch that console, you'll need to have the disc version of the PS5 to carry on playing them next gen. Because once you go digital, your discs are useless. Speaking of games, at launch, loads of games will have free upgrades to PS5 to optimize and enhance your experience. So if you own any of these games, including Fortnite, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Borderlands 3, Destiny 2, Doom Eternal, the list goes on, know that you'll have a shiny new version on day one for PS5. The upgrades you'll see can vary from improved load times, updated visuals, and higher quality textures, and my personal favourite, improved frame rates. For example, Ghost of Tsushima will run at 60 frames per second on the PS5. There are other games which you'll need to be a bit careful around. For example, Call of Duty Black Ops, you'll need to spend an extra $10, €10 or £10 to move your experience from PS4 to PS5. Pretty move in my opinion. Later in the PS5 cycle, free upgrades to other games will start to pop up, such as Cyberpunk 2077 and GTA Online. GTA Online is a bit strange, it's a free download, but only during its first 3 months on the market on PS5, so be sure to download that and rake in the savings. And to round out our look on games, look at this behemoth. The PlayStation Plus collection. 18 of the best PlayStation 4 games will be available on day one for all PS Plus subscribers who buy a PS5. 18! I break them all down in this video here, but the ones which really blew my mind were God of War and Days Gone. And there's another 16 on top of that. All for free for the PS Plus fam. Whoop whoop! Let's break down the console next. Did you see the teardown from PlayStation? Man, that was strangely satisfying. Here's the main things of note there. It's thick and chunky, like no other. The reason for this size is directly linked to the PS4 and issues many of us had. Real talk right now, homies. How much of a jet engine did your PS4 sound like? It's not a great selling point, is it? Well, this issue is being reversed to become a key selling point instead. From audio tests from YouTubers who aren't me, they say that the PS5 is virtually silent and remain that way for their entire playtime. Inside the PS5, you'll see the sheer size of the heatsink and fan. Damn, that's thick. The massive heatsink acts like a heat absorber to keep the processor super chilled. All the way around the console are vents to push and pull the air around to keep things super cool too. And even dust has been thought about with the PS5 and should keep dust at bay. Let's see if that's still the same in 12 months though. But right now, this is music to my ears. In fact, there is more. Many people have chosen the digital PS5 over the disc-based beast, as that disc drive could be loud. Sony have once again decided to fight this and encase the drive in a kind of anti-vibration tech with dual-layered insulation, which hugely quietens the drive. Again, we shall see in November, but if this is true, the PS5 will be the quietest console you've ever heard. Or not heard. You know what I mean. And to finish this section on heat and sound, check out the coolest thing you'll see today. The PS5 has a liquid metal cooling mechanism designed to keep your PS5 working like it's day one for years to come. Wow. On the rear of the console are two USB ports you should be aware of, as well as the good old LAN port, and this one, the HDMI output. This is something I'd like to break down further if I may. The PS5 supports HDMI 2.1. This is a step up from the previous version, which supports 48 gigabits per second data transfer. Don't worry, I'll break it down. HDMI 2.0, the one we used to use on the PS4, had 18 gigabits per second, so there's a huge difference there. Let's not make this a tech talk though. The new cable and system means we can output to our TVs and monitors at 4K at, get this, 120 frames per second. And should that day ever come, 8K resolution at 60 frames per second. For those that understand color gamuts, HDMI 2.1 has BT 2020, Don't worry, I'm clueless too, but in layman's terms, this means a massive colour range in the new HDMI cables. And this is also the reason why when you walk into tech stores, they always have a colourful bay or mountain scene on all the screens to show you the full colour range of that unit. So getting this back to PS5, in gaming terms, expect Miles Morales to look super colourful on the PS5. Another great thing about HDMI 2.1 is ALL mode, in which the delay or the latency between your thumbsticks and the character moving on screen is super low, and it's all automatically done when you switch the PS5 on. But here's a huge caveat. This does mean to get the best out of the system, we'll need a TV or monitor which supports HDMI 2.1 input. So these changes won't be with many of us on day one. For right now though, in this moment, it doesn't matter if you don't have a TV which supports HDMI 2.1. You're good to go all the same, just keep going with the same tech. Maybe think about upgrading later in the PlayStation 5's life cycle to get a little bit more out of your PS5. Going back to frame rates, if you're used to 30 frames or even 60 frames per second, the move up to 120 is mind-blowing. The smoother gameplay will result in your improvement as a gamer and less strain on your eyes. Those extra frames make reacting in competitive shooters easier too, as there's twice as much information to see and react to every second. In terms of using 120 frames per second, I wouldn't expect many games to do this past first-person shooters. It may take a year into the PS5 cycle for more games to utilise 120 frames. More realistically, 60 frames should become the norm this generation. So the PS5 is designed to stand up tall or lay down flat, and just like previous generations, a stand is required, but this time it comes with your purchase. No more shelling out another $20 for an official stand. Like the PS4, a screw is needed when your console is in vertical position, which means a screwdriver is needed too. If you prefer your console horizontal, the stand will need to be removed and then clicked into place like this. Also note there's a place to store your screw. It's not a big deal. It made me smile. Next, as you'd likely know, the PS5 has a solid-state drive with 825GB of storage space. The killer about this SSD is the speed. It's a potential game changer for the industry as it diminishes load times greatly. I wonder what it will do with the initial load time on GTA Online. Games like Spider-Man, in which loading was hidden behind Peter on the subway, well, these will be removed completely. This tech is mind-blowing. Some people were uncertain about the size of the storage, 825GB, and for those people who want more space, something of note, an expansion slot. It's an M2 interface with PCIe 4.0 support. That means we can buy additional storage compatible with the PS5 and keep even more games downloaded. As simple as that. Another great thing of note is that although Sony will certify drives worthy of use in the PS5, it will not close the market. Competitors can and will create SSDs, and the cost will drop over time as each company undercuts the next. And ultimately, the consumer wins and we get cheaper tech. Good times. But right off the bat, these are going to be so expensive, so be very mindful of that. And you should also note your warranty is fully protected when adding extra storage. If you want to know the exact moment your warranty is void, it's when you take off these stickers. So don't do that. Speaking of updated cables, let's look at the front of the console, and there is a high-speed USB port you'd expect there, but below that is the PS5's USB Type-C port. This thing has crazy fast speed exchanges should you need to move videos or audio or game saves to other devices. But the thing about the USB-C is the cable goes in either way around. So if, like me, you've ever failed to plug in a USB cable and then turned it round and failed again and then rotated it round again and then it finally goes in. Yeah, those days are numbered. Oh, and to confirm, the two extra USB Type-A ports on the back of the console are super speed ones. That's why they have a blue inlay like this, and the standard one on the front doesn't. So if you aren't using USB-C to transfer data, ignore this one on the front and use the two super speed ones on the back. And to finish this physical segment on the console, the faceplates. Did you see how easy they are removed? This indicates we are encouraged to do this and get inside our PS5s for the SSD upgrades, but this also all but confirms the return of customizable faceplates. We have the choice to stick with the OG white or purchase or customize our own versions and stand out from the crowd. What designs would you have on a custom faceplate? There are some great concepts out there already. This is excitement in the most non-gamer way possible. Love it. Next we have something you can't see, because it's audio. The PS5 is set to revolutionize 3D audio in games. At present, if you've ever had the sensation of hearing an opponent in-game, but you are unable to locate them due to ineffective audio cues, on the PS5, 3D audio has been a huge point of interest, and from the feedback, we've heard the precision and fine-tuning of audio bouncing off walls in games is unprecedented on the PS5. Our spatial awareness in video games is getting an upgrade to mimic 360-degree audio you get in high-quality cinemas. I'll have to hear this to believe this, but the signs are good. Next up, we have trophies, one of the most addicting things about being a gamer, collecting trophies and flexing on your friends. The PS5 has revamped this system, and if you're on PS4, it's already updated. You can now check yours right now and you'll find your level has risen. I'm currently rank 409, I think, which is none too shabby, I may say. The old system used 1 to 99 to define a level, and now that's changed to 1 to 999. With platinum trophies worth even more. And I have to admit, seeing that number makes me want to start chasing trophies again. How do you feel about trophies right now? What level are you at? And finally, the controller. You can't play a game without something to play it with. I've made a full breakdown of the 21 tiny changes I noticed when the DualSense was revealed, but here's the most important things of note now. The new shape. Following the work of Sega, Atari, Nintendo and Xbox, Sony have redesigned the controller for comfort, so expect it to take a few days to get used to. The term DualSense refers to touch and audio. Gone are the old school rumble motors, replaced with haptic tech. Haptic feedback is the tension on items we use in game. They will react in a more realistic way. For example, a bow being pulled back will have the string resistance mimicked on the controller, making it harder to push the button. This will feel different from, say, shooting a pistol. Added realism. And in driving games, the soil, the tarmac, the track under your wheels will feel drastically different, just like in real life. The sound aspect of the controller relates to the 3D audio tech we've looked at earlier, but also note there is a near-field inbuilt microphone in the controller. On the front is a light bar which indicates what player you are in the game. I like that, it's a nice touch. And look on the underside of the controller. The grip bumps are PlayStation shaped. Brilliant touch. And lastly, every PS5 will come with Astro's Playroom, a free game installed, in which you will learn everything about the controller and its abilities firsthand. Inside the PS5, which is another amazing touch. You'll also find a museum in here somewhere showing the history of PlayStation. Is anyone here from the 90s? No, just me. Okay, I get it. So there we have it, 50 things you need to know about the PlayStation 5. Hopefully there was something you didn't know, and I'm guessing it's the HDMI 2.1 bit. Am I right? Anyway, thank you for sticking around for so long, it's much appreciated. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade. I shall see you next time.